Hello, my name is Steve and in this video I would like to share with you how to be funny, so let's start it. And that was all for today. I'm not funny at all, so thanks for watching. Just kidding. So would you like to be funnier? I think that's a very great thing, and I think sense of humor is one of the greatest skills that you can acquire during your years. If you are funny, you can get a job much more easier. Also, people will like you instantly, and the sense of humor can also help you to carry on in the darkest times and the most difficult times in your life. I believe in that sense of humor is one of the greatest skills where you need to spend time, but it's worth it. And of course it's free, so it is one of the rarest skills which can be learned day by day and you don't need to spend any money on it. Humor will also help you to color out your life. You will have a lot of funny moments and of course you will laugh a lot, so it is something I think which worth to invest in. If you would like to be funny, you can follow my 6 tips, so here we go. Tip number 1. Don't practice jokes. I think this is the tip where most of the people makes mistake, because somehow people think that some kind of learned sentences can be funny, which is can be true, but you have a very little chance that it will succeed. You don't need to spend time necessary for learning jokes. I think it is much more better if you invest this time and energy into another aspect of humor. The success of these practice jokes are very small, and I think you need to come up with them in a very certain way and in a very certain situation, and also there are a lot of chance that you will fail with these kind of jokes because you forget the funniest moments in the joke, or maybe people won't understand them. So I think it's not worth invest time into these kind of jokes. As I mentioned, there are examples when these kind of jokes can work, but I think it's worth to invest time and effort into another things like practicing jokes. Tip number 2. Misunderstand the situation. If you misunderstand the situation, I think most of the time it can cause funny moments. Here is an example. Imagine that you are hanging out with your friends and playing board games, and somehow you misunderstand the rules. They start to explain it in the beginning and you somehow consider it that you win the game if you collect the most points during the game. After a couple of hours you just feel that okay, you will win this game, but in the end they will highlight for you that you misunderstand the whole situation and the point was to collect the least point during the game and not the most. And I think it can be very funny because you just completely messed up all the game, but at least you were funny. Certainly you can misunderstand situations on purpose, but also it can be spontaneous. Both can be very funny. I encourage you to focus on misunderstanding the situations on purpose because the spontaneous can be practiced. Tip number 3. Be sarcastic. Sarcasm is one of the most powerful ways if you would like to be funny, but on the other hand it can be a little bit difficult to use, so I encourage you to find the right balance between the sarcasm and other ways of humor. Sarcasm can be practiced on yourself, but you can also practice on your friends who appreciate these kind of jokes, and this is a very important point. Here are a couple of examples. Bro, I think I played very well during this match. Sure, I think you played very well, but I think you should give up on playing this game and maybe go back to play chess. As you can see, it is a very powerful sentence because I just said only one thing and I completely ruined my friend performance review, and I think it can be very funny. Sarcasm also can be practiced on yourself too. Bro, I heard you have a YouTube channel and you are famous. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel and I am famous. Wow, that's amazing, you have thousands of followers? No, not really, nobody is watching my channel. I just have too much time and I'm creating videos constantly, but to be honest, nobody cares. As you can see, both of the mentioned example is working very well, so you can be sarcastic with other people, but you also can use this kind of joke on yourself too. One important takeaway when you are using sarcasm that you can't use it all the time because people will consider you as an old grumpy person who is always bitter, but I suggest you to use it barely, but find the right balance between the sarcasm and also other ways of jokes. Tip number 4. Say something which is absolutely wrong. You can also be very funny if you say something in a certain situation which is absolutely not the right thing. Here are a couple of examples once again. You are hanging out with your friends and you are picking up your shoes because you are going to leave, and you just already picked up your shoes and you come up with the following sentence. As I can see, you are still picking up your shoes, so maybe I will paint my walls in the house, so I will be back soon. It's pathetic that I will paint my walls in the mentioned situation, and that's why it is funny. Another example. Imagine the situation that you are stepping out from your home with your friends in a cold season and you say the following sentence. "Oh, that's so hot, I'm sweating, please bring my sunglasses once again and my some milk." As you can see, you can say something wrong on a purpose but also in a spontaneous way, but I think the first one can be practiced very well. Tip number 5, share your awkward stories. Sharing your own crummy and hilarious stories can be also very funny for people. You will become even more funnier if you share your own stories and not something you watched on YouTube. A couple of days ago I just explained to my friends that what happened during one of my vacation when I just nearly peed myself because I couldn't find a toilet anywhere. It was very awkward situation because I couldn't find a single toilet on the airport, and I think I spent 20 minutes before I nearly peed myself. But in the end, I just peed myself. No. I think sharing these kind of awkward stories can also help you to build trust among your friends and people. And I think it's also something which can came up into people's mind that, Jesus, I was in the same situation a year ago and it was very, very awkward. But most of the time people don't have the courage to share these kind of stories, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. Maybe people are afraid of sharing these kind of stories, but it doesn't mean you also need to do this. I encourage you to share these kind of awkward stories about you. Tip number 6, learn to laugh on yourself. My last tip for you, if you would like to be funny, that you don't need to be afraid of laugh on yourself. I think it's a very great way if you would like to make some jokes about you, because that's something where you can't make any mistake. You can't hurt other people's feelings. You can come up with these kind of jokes in any kind of situations because you will make fun of yourself only. You can always come up with some funny sentences and you can make fun of yourself every single time, and it will be always funny. Like here are another examples. I would like to express that you did a very great job. Congratulations. Thanks, but to be honest, I didn't know what was going on, so it was just pure luck. You can come up with some funny jokes when people make some simple statements for you. I think you look amazing today. Are you talking to me? I feel like an ugly fish today. As you can see from my examples, you can be very funny if you are making fun of yourself. My last tip is a kind of a mix of the previous one, because you can misunderstand something, you can share awkward situations about you, and you can also be sarcastic with yourself. But it is very important that you can laugh on yourself. Important takeaway that if you have low self-esteem, I don't suggest you to try these kind of stories, and don't laugh on yourself because it can hurt you in a bad way. I think you can come up with these kind of jokes when you are okay with yourself and you have enough self-awareness then that you can accept yourself in a way you are, and you can make fun of yourself. So that was all for today. I hope you enjoyed my video and maybe just made a few smile on your face. I hope for it. Who knows? And don't forget to subscribe. Please share my video, and also you can share in the comment section what are your suggestions if anybody would like to be funny. Do you have any practice jokes or something like that which is working? So feel free to share your ideas. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.